welcome back to my art desk. Today I'm going to be doing another character design challenge, and since it's October, I'm thinking monsters, and I'm inspired to do something with fancy dresses. So we're going to combine those two and make each monster its own fancy dress. So let's get started. I've got my little Halloween spinning the wheel. I've got 6 different options on here. We'll probably get to 3 of them today. That's typically how many I get to. So I'm just gonna hit spin and we'll see what we get. All right, our first monster fancy dress will be based on a vampire. I think I might just sketch out some of the things that first come to my mind with a vampire. Obviously fangs, bats and bat wings, one of those capes with the really high collar, that hairstyle where it like points down in the middle and then comes up like this. I think I'm gonna do like regular people in dresses inspired by the monsters instead of drawing the monsters in the dresses, if that makes sense. Because I don't want to just draw monsters wearing dresses. I want the dresses to really be like the creative part. I think a long dress would probably be appropriate for a vampire. Something that drapes the floor. Maybe some big flowing sleeves like bat wings. Maybe something with this collar. I don't know if I want to take it too literal though and just put a big collar on it, because that's just kind of the vampire's outfit. I kind of want to be a bit more creative than that. So maybe it's a wide neckline that sticks out a little bit farther. Maybe that same shape that's in the hairline, maybe we'll make that the neckline. So I don't love how high up the shoulders are, so maybe I will try to maybe have the dress like fall off the shoulders a little bit. And at this point with them so far down, I don't think I'm going to try to make it that high collar shape either, because I think that's just going to try to add too much to it. Okay, how else can I make this more interesting? Okay, so if 2 straps came up from here and here and then went around the neck, that might be kind of cool. And then I'm almost thinking we could do like a slit leg or maybe a high-low or something like that. That way it looks more like a cape that's opening up in the front, rather than just one solid dress. I think it should drag the floor a little bit too. Okay, so now it looks kind of like a mini dress with a train. So what if I make it 2 pieces? So this train part is kind of like a sash that goes across like this. Then we can do some kind of belt or clip. And having the dress be 2 different pieces might be easier to incorporate red, because I think black and red are going to be the colors for this dress. I was thinking maybe doing the inside of the cape red, maybe some of the other details. I think the footwear needs to be very pointed, because vampire fangs. So really high heels and pointy toes. As for accessories, I'm thinking some teardrop shaped earrings. Maybe like a brooch type of necklace, something really Victorian. Slicked back hair, obviously. Maybe short hair though. The makeup is gonna have a dark red lip and some really winged eyeliner. Alright, I like the way that this design is turning out, so I'm going to spin the wheel again before I do the final take on it. And we'll pick our second monster. Alright, our next one is going to be based off of a skeleton. Alright, so with skeleton, we're obviously working with bones. Pretty much black and white, and they don't have any meat on the bones, so they're thin. I'll start by drawing out a skull. I obviously don't know how to draw a skull that looks like an alien. So this is going to be, I think, a pretty slim fitting dress. Do I want it to be floor length or short? I'm thinking floor length again. I think this dress should be more geometric and more angular, but I don't think I like this pose. Let me try something different. I think I need to not worry about the pose and worry about the outfit. What if it was one of those dresses that was really tight until the bottom and then it got like really frilly, but the frills kind of ended up looking like skulls the way that they were shaped? I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate like the shape of a rib cage or like the detail of a rib cage in here without literally just putting the ribs on top of the dress. Maybe it could be like all cinched in the middle, so all the, like the ruching or whatever is coming from the center. That kind of looks like ribs, and that kind of goes with our form-fitting dress as well. What would the top of the dress look like though? Maybe something really strappy? Or do like a keyhole neckline but have it shaped like a skull. Or just have the whole like head opening shaped like a skull, so it goes around the neck like a halter top and then down where the jaw would be. I kind of like that. I don't know if it's obvious that it's supposed to be a skull though. Now it makes sense for this model to be bald, but would it look good? I think black lips, some really dark smoky eyeliner. What kind of accessories would go with this outfit? A lot of like old skeletons were buried with like their gold jewelry. I might use gold as an accessory color. Maybe a little necklace or something. Okay, I'm liking that design, so we're gonna move on to our third monster dress. Let's see what we get. All right, number 3 is gonna be Ghost. Since I've done one long dress and one high-low dress, I think I'm gonna make this one a short dress. Thinking short and puffy, just to do something a little bit different than the other two. Maybe do like a baby doll cut dress, because ghosts and Victorians and dolls, they all kind of go together. I think this is looking too childish. Maybe we keep it a long dress and we just do it in tiers. So it's like layered like this. It's not bad. We could have all of these layers be tools, so they're kind of transparent. Or maybe they get transparent as they go further down, so the dress just kind of disappears towards the bottom. That would be pretty ghosty. Should she have sleeves? I think this model should have long flowy hair and super light makeup. It's not Screaming Ghost, it's just Screaming Princess. Maybe it does need to be shorter. Oh, the turtleneck, that might be what it needed. Something's still not right. I think instead of it being poofy, it just needs to be flowing off to one side. Like it's blowing in the wind or something. Maybe the sleeves need to be just as flowy as the dress, so it's all kind of one shape. I like that a lot more. Alright, what kind of accessories would a ghost have? A bouquet of flowers? Or maybe just a flower in her hair. Could make your earrings shaped like a tombstone. Oh my gosh, that's a great idea. Alright, chains. That's such a good idea. Alright, this character definitely needs to have long hair because our other two had short hair. And I want something like flowing, but I'm thinking straight hair might be better. What if, instead of her hem being straight across like that, it kind of drapes down in a triangle point? And then instead of it being nice and even, we make it super flowy, like it's hanging off of her. And then as far as her top goes, it's going to be really drapey. Not form-fitting at all at the top. It's just going to be very loose. And then cinched at the waist with a chain. I like that. That seems much more ghosty than what we were coming up with before. And then the sleeves, I might make them come up over her hands so you can't see her hands at all. I'm not sure if this is going to work out. We're going to give it a good try anyway. You don't know until you try. I think a ghost would have some dainty little like ballet flats, maybe with the little bows on them. I like this design a lot better than what I had before. I think the shape of the dress changes here and here really made the difference and made it look more ghosty. So now I think I'm ready to switch over to the finals.
I'm keeping this vampire model very pale for the aesthetic of the dress. I know she looks a little gray at first, but that's because I'm working on marker paper, which is designed to slowly absorb alcohol inks so there's more blending time. So the color shift that you see is actually the wetness of the paper slowly drying. I start off with her skin, adding a little blush while the base layer is still wet so the colors will bleed together. Pun intended. Now I'm working on her dress, which is going to be black, but I wanted it to look shiny, so I'm adding in the highlights first, which I chose to be a cool light blue. Then I move to the mid-tone, a neutral gray, and finally I bring out the black marker to add in the edges and folds. I love this two-piece dress idea because it works so well with the short dress while giving a nod to the classic Dracula cape. I wanted the sash to be a bright, warm red, again for the stereotypical vampire look. I used 3 different colors for a highlight, mid-tone, and shadow. That's a pretty typical setup for alcohol markers. Another color that I want to incorporate into this design is a vibrant purple, which I use in her sash pin and her hair as well. And now that the largest areas of the character are colored in, I am working on the details like her droplet earrings, her pointy fang shoes, and the wine glass. After all of the marker areas are done, I just need to do some line art and some juicy little highlights, and she's done! Next up is the skeleton dress, and I follow the same steps as before, starting with the skin. I wanted this model to be dark to complement all the desaturated bone colors going on in the dress. I use a slightly darker brown for shadows, and then grab my black marker to give her a short textured hairstyle. Moving on to the dress, I leave some cutouts to mimic the gap between the ribs and hips of a skeleton, and I added some ring details down the top for the jewelry that's sometimes left with the skeleton. For the coloring, the direction of my brush strokes are important to give the illusion of a cinched middle line. I start off with the lightest shade and slowly build depth with each pass. I absolutely love the hint of skulls in the ruffles at the bottom of the dress, and I feel like this is a much more subtle interpretation of a monster dress than the vampire was. I make sure to add in gold details and some fun eyelashes as well. Now all that's left is line art and highlights, and my skeleton dress is complete. Last but not least is the ghost dress. I really struggled with this one, both on brainstorming and coloring. For some reason, I started with her hair this time, and I wish I would have chose a different color because this is looking more like Christmas pageant angel than ghost fashionista, but I do end up alternating it towards the end of this. Then, the marker that I picked for her skin was dried out, so her legs were really streaky, but I ended up fixing that too, so just wait. Her dress had to be white because ghosts, so instead of coloring the whole dress, I'm only coloring the shadows with a light neutral gray. I gave her an asymmetrical cut, like the wispy end of a classic ghost shape, and dramatic lower lashes with a smoky eyeshadow. She has a chain belt and necklace, which I could have planned out better because it's looking a little generic. I tried to fix her hair by giving her some chunky gray strips. I don't love it, but it's better than before. While I was working on the line art, I gave her some fishnet tights to hide her streaky legs. and my camera died right while I was adding my finishing touches, pearls on her fishnets. And that little touch really helped this dress design a lot and gave her just a slight edge with her glam grunge look. And here are the final dresses for Vampire, Skeleton, and Ghost. Let me know in the comments which dress you would wear to a spooky party. If you design your own monster dress and want to share them, you can send me a picture over on my Instagram at Rachel's Art Desk. I'd love to see what you make, and if you'd like, I'll share them on my next character design video. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this video sparked some creativity in you. Now go make some art, and I will see you next time.